You made it lock in. Court lights flicker, I'm feeling that tip-off fever. NBA dreams spin tight like a crossover sleeper. 4th and inches in the cold, crowd breathing like smoke. NFL grit in my voice when the pressure get woke. Engine scream through the night, that F1 razor lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior. NASCAR drift in my blood when the pace gets wild. I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile. Legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo. I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro. Every lane that we touch, every story we show, this is where the truth runs. The NotBland Show. Fast, race, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch the moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with a champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show.
Lock in.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NotBland Show. You made it, and let's lock in to today's show as we're going to talk a lot of Gatornationals, and it was a great race. Great race. A lot of people there. A lot of media there. I mean, you know it's big, and not saying that she wouldn't show up any other time, but you know it's big when Kelly Crandall shows up. That was really cool to see her there. Welcome, Memphis Lonnie. What's going on, buddy? Doing good today, baby. I'm doing good. Oh, man. Yeah, he said your boy Richard told him where to put it on his victory interview, didn't he? Yeah, man. I mean, really cool to see and hear that, Elite congratulated them. Says a lot about him, though. I know a lot of people, have differing opinions of Richard, but I find him to be very candid, open, and says what he means what he says, and that's just all there is to it. But super cool. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. So let's lock into this thing today. What's up, Drag Race Mayhem? What's going on, buddy? This was good. This was a very good race. Your winners, if you were living under a rock, Josh Hart gets his win. Chad Green goes back-to-back as he won last year, comes in here, gets another win. Matt Hartford, what a day for him. Car, really good all day, got better as the day went on. And to beat, Greg Anderson, that's huge. And Richard Gadsden, I mean, his uncle was in attendance. Ricky was there. Super cool to see him. He actually came up, was in the media center during the winner's interview, and it's really cool to see him there. All that family's been through, and to get that win, it's kind of a full circle moment for them, and for Richard to be able to dedicate that win to Layla was really huge and cool. It's just wild, right? And he said, do they believe and do they believe now? Well, they better believe. I mean, you can say what you want about how the finals went down in Pomona. Nobody's fault. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, I still think he would have won. I know some people say that maybe not, but if this weekend doesn't prove anything, then I don't know what else to tell you. You're just a hater. Props to John Hall too. He rode his Oh man, and I got a lot to say about that. Yes, and on his birthday, it was really cool, man. And I tell you, we'll start in Pro Slide Motorcycle since we are there already. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you straight up right now, those MSR bikes have more in them. I'm not saying that they're bagging, but there's more in those bikes. Go back and look at your incremental numbers, okay, with those bikes. Whether it's qualifying, And qualifying is a big teller also with these bikes because if you were unaware, which you likely were not aware, because even I was surprised when I heard, they, at the end of last season, they took 5 pounds off of the V-twin bikes. Then they came back again in the off season and they took 5 more pounds off the bike. So they are 10 pounds lighter now. And if you go back and you look at your qualifying times and you look at the incrementals and, you know, you look at what, especially in Q2, but if you look at Q1, you look at the MSR bikes. John Hall was a 109 60 foot. Angie was 110. Matt was 107. So he had a pretty decent, but he was nowhere near the Vance and Hines bikes at 105. 105.6 for Herrera, 105.3 for Gadsden. You go to the second round of qualifying night session. Was that the night session or was that Saturday? No, that wasn't the night session. Saturday was the night session. So you go into this session here, some of the same 107.9 for Matt Smith. You had Herrera with a 106.3. You had a 104.1 by Richard Gadsden with that 674.6. But you look at Angie, she had a 107.7, right? Still ran a 674 with a 0. Gadsden ran a 674 with a 6. Those MSR bikes are back halfing folks like nobody's business. They weren't running great 60 foot, but man, they're if you don't get off, if your back half is not as good as theirs, they're gonna outrun you. And that was proven by Angie Smith's run in Q2 with that 674.0. Now, being that the Suzukis are heavier, it takes a little bit more to get that bike going, and having low 60 foot times consistently. And they're struggling with that. Eddie will tell you that. Eddie also is not happy with the weight break, and I don't blame him. I don't think that's the answer. And I also think that the MSR bikes are capable of 60 footing very well. And I think it's elimination round 3, I believe. Or is it E3 or is it E4? No, because that was the final. I think it's E2 probably. But John Hall pulls out a 106.6 60 foot against Gage. Not close to Gage's 105. They don't 60 foot consistently. That we're going to be honest about that. Exactly. See, here we go. Exactly. Bingo. This is why I say they are back halfing the heck out of people. They were running 200 pretty consistent. Now, don't get me wrong. You saw some 200s from the V-twin, from the Vance and Hines crew as well. But their numbers are excellent on the back half. And they're not 60 footing as good as, Vance and Hines is. But they have the capability of doing so. They got a 106.1 from Angie in the first round. Looked like John Hall 107.6 in the first round. Matt Smith 106.0. So they can get in the 105 range. I think they're playing around a little bit because they know they have the back half easy. Matt Smith ran 201.67 in first round. You're booking a 673.9, which was low for the round and lower than anybody other than his wife, who was a 674.7, which equaled close to what she had in her number one qualifier run. Oh yeah, his reaction times were absolutely insane. But what I'm saying is these bikes have more in them. And I believe that they were not going to give it all, because if I come out here and I front and back half you, as Drag Race Mayhem said, they're going to add 5 pounds on you coming into Charlotte. Just that quick. So why would I do that? And let's not take this the wrong way. There's gamesmanship that's being played, whether it's Vance and Hines or MSR. There's gamesmanship being played. I will tell you that Vance and Hines is not sandbagging at all. But I'm telling you that MSR is bagging a little bit. There's more in those bikes. And I know my man, the Nitro Performance guy, knows that when you look at those 60 foots. Knows for Nitro, he says, if this start is any indication, NHRA 75th is going to be spectacular, chasing speed indeed. Yeah, it really was electric there at Gainesville. All the qualifying sessions, the elimination sessions, shout out to Evan and his team. They really did an excellent job of just keeping the program moving. They had weather that they had to deal with. Your boy opened his big mouth, and Friday, right out of the gate, towards the end there, we get a little rain. They were able to make that up pretty quickly and get action back on the track in good time. That was some big raindrops, and they were able to get that thing cleared and the track back running real quick. So shout out to them. But this is good for Pro Stock Motorcycle. You saw Steve Johnson in the first round of eliminations pull out that 107 760 foot. He goes 683. He gets that whole shot win. Had a 20 light. And you have those from Steve every now and then. You not only just winning on the tree, but also running good numbers. He beat Angie, who was late with that 686. She was 140 on the tree. I don't know if she was distracted or what, but I picked her to win, and I was very disappointed because I would have rather her do what she's known to do at times, and that's go red, because she's trying to get off the line so fast. And that hurt, because I really felt like she had the bike to beat this weekend. And I really think would have given Richard a run for his money. I had both of those two in the final. But it's going to be a fun pro stock motorcycle deal here for the year. Got great competition. I think you're going to see a lot of bikes be competitive. You look at some of the other teams, Chase Van Zant's. You see Ryan Aller's team with 2 bikes and running pretty darn good. Chase Van Zant, 82 to 83 there in the first round. Chase goes on. But I think you're going to see real good competition from the 16 bikes that show up. Maybe we get more, but I like what we're doing here. Kelly very consistent in the low 680s. That bike can be in the 70s. And the more and more Kelly gets comfortable on the bike and gets her groove in riding, I think we're going to be fine. She is more than determined. She's got that Charles County feisty coming out, and I love it. And I think it's going to play big this year in her going rounds, because the bike is very much capable of running in the 70s, and they will get there. They will get there. So it's going to be fun. And then you had Clayton Howie come out there and run a 78 in the first round. Really, really had that 81 there. On the semifinal round, went past Matt Smith with that 82. and a 17 light too. So it's going to be some competition out here, man. But shout out to Richard. When I talked to him about the whole block issue, he said he didn't, he knew he didn't hit it. And so there is a crown on that track on both sides, which pushes, if you're in the right lane, it pushes you to the wall towards the right. If you're in the left lane, it pushes you to the wall to the left. That's why you saw in qualifying Chris Bostic get close to the wall there. No, he wasn't trying to repeat anything. It's just what this track does. And you have to kind of, he said in that round, he was trying to point the bike to where when it got out there that it would draw him back towards the center, and it did not. He got too far over, and he said he wasn't riding the bike. He had just pointed it, and he expected the track to bring him back towards the right, and it didn't, and it kept going left. He also didn't see the fact that Clayton had gone red. So that's why he kept going. And it didn't happen. And fortunate enough, he didn't clip the block, but that was the reason on why he rode it all the way to the end, because he did not see the red light. So, could have been totally different if he hits that block, but fortunately enough, he didn't. And he brings it, gets a great light and a great ET with 200-mile-an-hour speed to get the W. So huge day for Vance and Hines, a huge day for him. I don't think, there's nothing else left to prove, man. Like, he's the champ and the reigning defending. And I think it's going to be a really tough and good season for Pro Stock Motorcycle. What a day for just Pro Stock in general. You get the father-son deal right out of the gate in the first round there. What a deal. And the drama of qualifying, Greg has the longest qualifying streak, and it's now 9 away from reaching 500, and that was in jeopardy. He's at 490, and if he had a loss, the next person who would be the leader is Dallas Glenn with 57, now 58 because he did qualify for the Gatornationals, so 58, and that's a big drop off. So the streak continues, but I didn't have any doubts that he would get in on that last one. I think they had an engine issue. Q2 brought out that one, in Q3 kind of missed with that 660, and then they came back out and did what they had to do, and got that thing in the show. We'll do the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza picks, as we will have for a segment called the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Top 10 of the Week. So we will talk about the top 10 in Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. We will also talk about top 10 in the NotBland Show Drag Race Bracket Bonanza as well. Appreciate you. Try to do our best here on the NotBland Show. I could not imagine racing 500 national events in a row. Could not. And it's pretty remarkable. Like, most have some sort, you've been out there 490 times. Somewhere in that 490, you're going to DNQ somewhere, right? And no mas. So it's been really cool to see that. There really are some really impressive stats out there, and that is one of them. Yeah. Oh, like clockwork, right? Like clockwork. But it looks like the elite cars are back. Erica, 658 early, runs that 656 against Cody Coughlin. Fell off in the semis. It was hot out there. That track was hot. It really was. You expect the cars to slow down with that. And, you look at the moisture, humidity in the air, plays a part. But they were able to qualify. She qualified ninth with that 654.7. Almost could have had a whole field. Oh, we had a field of top 16 in the 50s. And your number one qualifier was Cody Coughlin at 652.3. So I believe that Elite is back. And we got top 1 to 16. And even the cars that didn't qualify, I think, have the ability to also be contenders or be a disruptor within each week of the season. And they're back. So it's going to be cool to see this battle and not be a running away. But we'll see. We'll see if it is still going to be a runaway, as Dave W. makes a good point. They were back on the trailer with an all KB final, so numbers, yes. At the end of the day, when it came down to wins, not so much, as it was an all KB final anyway. So we'll see how it all plays out here as the season goes on for pro stock. But I think we're in for a really good season. Funny car, what a day for both fuel cars. Track was what it was. And if you were living under a rock, not only did the Procs did not qualify, they also left at midnight. Truck left. Bye. See you later. We're out of here. Look, if you didn't watch the Power Hour, I said it there. I'll say it here. I'm really tired of crew chiefs complaining about conditions. At the end of the day, it's no different than any sport. You take what the defense is giving you, and you tune to the track conditions. They're some of the most smartest people in the world, and yet the most whiny. You know what I mean? Like everybody else outside of Lisinko, it was only 3 people that didn't get down the track in that qualifying session. And everyone after Lisinko, there was 4 that went down in low 4, mid to, 410 and lower for their times at ET times. All you had to go out there and do was run a 410 to a 414, 415, and you get in the show. And the car went out there every round. Even in the hero session, they couldn't get it right. And I saw, in the comments on the Power Hour talking about them, word being that they were probably using older parts. Okay, still no excuse for me. You figure it out. I mean, they couldn't even hit the broadside of a barn in the hero session. They went up in smoke in the hero session. I think they went up in smoke in about 180 feet in the hero session. But pretty much, it was one time they went up in smoke at about 300 feet. The others were about 200 feet or less. So it's really, I don't want to hear the excuses. You go out there and you tune to the race conditions. Everybody was dealing with the same thing. So, everybody knows that during the pro session, they had that track pretty prepped pretty well. A lot of stickum. I mean, rightfully so. Wasn't too much rubber on that racetrack. They had ground the racetrack down. So they were the first set of cars. You didn't have the Baby Gators. The Baby Gators are this upcoming weekend, I believe. So you didn't have the Baby Gators. And we hadn't gotten to Thursday action with the sportsman class. So no action on the racetrack. No rubber on the racetrack. So it's not surprising that you're going to have spots on the racetrack that are bald. But, it's not. It's not. And look, I'm willing to. I'm willing to criticize the NHRA when necessary, but in that case, they're wrong. If you look at our, the NotBland Show Facebook page, want to welcome all the new followers and as well. But you'll see the joke that we have up there. Our sports journey camera guy, Fred Warner, says it's the mop guy. He's got photos. He had one job. So he's blaming the mop guy. It's a joke, but it's funny. Mop guy. You realize Max Verstappen whines more than yeah, but still. It's my problem is you go up and smoke in the same area. You can't blame track prep, bro. Like, you can't. You missed all day. You can't come out and blame an oil spot that didn't really exist because the oil down happened down track. The car didn't catch fire until just past the 8th mile. Between the 8th mile and 1,000 feet. You can go watch the video of me standing down there with the fans catching a view. It didn't happen until then. So there was no oil on the starting line. They didn't clean the starting line. They cleaned the top end and near the finish line. So it's piss poor excuse. And that's all it is a stinking excuse. Yeah. And they're just going to have to do a better job. I just can't. They were trying to do too much. I mean, you heard, and you can see some of the articles there, especially dealing with the track prep on competitionplus.com. But guys talking about, hey, we had a 93, 94 in it. Look, man, it's hot as the Deacons out there. That racetrack's greasy. There was no 93 out, 94 out there to be had, especially if you're dealing with ball spots. And if you're hoping that you can do something to avoid the ball spots and you go up and smoke, well, guess what? That's on you. You took a chance and you failed. That's no one else's fault. That's not the NHRA's fault. That's not the Safety Safari's fault. That's your fault. You knew what you were getting into and what was out there. You knew that gremlin was out there. You knew that ball spot was out there. And instead of making an A to B run, you decided that you thought that it was okay that you could go out there and think you could put up a low 90. That was not conditions to go drop the door and go 84. No, it wasn't. Maybe you could have done it in the night session, but I mean, I would have just tried to get the thing in the show. You know tomorrow it's going to be hot. You don't want to be behind the 8 ball and not have an opportunity to get in the show because the conditions are terrible. So you have no one to blame but yourself. A lot of crying and belly aching for nothing. I'm gambling. I'll still take odds with Proc is number 1 in Phoenix. Look, I don't doubt they bounce back. I don't doubt they bounce back at all. No, not a UFC fan at all. Do not watch them. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure, but people want him to embrace the villain role. I don't have an issue with the annex this weekend from AP. I don't either, because look, I'll tell you what. I was talking with someone and they were like, you know what? If he wants to take the Whit Bazemore role, then take it. And I don't have a problem with it either. The sport needs a villain. Everybody can't be kumbaya and shaking hands and everything's good. Like, this is good TV. And they've got a chip, and that's fine. But all I'm saying is, you can have that chip, but if you go and you start blaming people for your mishaps, it is my job to call you on your BS. So, yeah, don't mind it at all. But don't think I'm just going to sit back and let you just throw a heap of trash on the NHRA when the receipts say otherwise. You might get some of your fan base to get riled up about that, but that ain't gonna be me. Don't feed me a bunch of BS. I don't want to hear it. Mac 1320 says, but they had a whole week of testing on the track, and plenty of people got down just fine then. Yes, with less rubber on the track, but it was more stick 'em on the track too. You know they like to do that. Strip Clip says, we all know that it's not a case of if Jimmy Prop gets that thing figured out. It's a case of when. I don't think people are ready for the comeback. They'll be setting records real soon. I don't disagree with you on that. Not at all. I think it's a matter of time. It's just one of those things that I think they came out, they were trying way too hard, and when you should have just taken what the defense gave you, you went out there and you wanted to continue to beat your head against the wall. Definition of insanity, expecting different results, and you didn't get those results. And yet you had to have some place to point the finger. Cool. I'm just going to tell you that ain't the place, though. Just think of all the people tuning in from the Chasing Speed show and Vice from the first time being like, what the F? He didn't even make the race. I'm not watching anymore. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Great day in Funny Car, though. Chad Green gets that win, does an excellent job. He actually qualified fourth with that 392 with a 6. I believe that was in the hero session. A lot of these were in the hero session. But it was a tough day. It was definitely a driver's course out there. Crew chiefs were struggling, and drivers were going to need to bail out their crew chiefs here and there during the day with the heat and all. And that's what it came down to. But I thought it was some really good action. I think we're going to have a field of funny cars that will all be in the mix. It's obvious that conditions will play a role, and it's going to be really key to have that hot weather tune-up. I really do think J.R. Todd is going to be a car that is going to need to be one to watch, and I think will be a contender. I think you're going to see all three of the Force cars be contenders. I like what I saw out of Alexis DeJoria this weekend. Seemed to be very comfortable. Didn't seem like the moment was too big. And when I say moment too big, it's putting a lot of pressure on herself, being that she's driving for JFR and understanding the expectations. That's what my concern was. And they went out there, and she went out there and did her job. Didn't lose it for them. Unfortunately, I thought she had a real good chance to win. And Chad Green with that 395.9 at 329.91 right there in the final. That was huge. But Jordan, great day for him. And how about that John Smith? Huh? Gets in with the 418 on the last session, right before the meltdown of Buddy Hull, and beats Ron Capps first round. I think everybody's brackets were kind of on the verge of being busted after that. Yeah, it was tough. Yes, the mop guy said, cut Tasca's team some slack. Their car and those parts have been 341. They have. But like I said, and you've heard me say it on the show, you've heard me say it on the Power Hour, there's going to be a learning curve. Those aren't the same. They don't have the same parts as Force. They don't have the same blowers as Force. And the word on the street is Force has the best blowers. But they are working on getting better parts. I do not think all of those parts are in. I don't. But at the same time, this was a race that they could have gotten in. You mean to tell me you can't get that car to go 415? I doubt it. You're Jimmy Prock. So I doubt it. So we'll see. Like I said, my problem is don't throw rocks. But yes, it is good for the sport. Great storylines. That's what we want. We want this here. Strip Clip says the one car though, the whole of testing and qualifying who impressed me. One, I think that will be real strong this year is the DHL car. Todd is one to watch this year again. I agree with you. What's going on, Sean? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. As always. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I really think that they're going to be a tough car to beat. You're going to see a lot of consistent runs out of them. I think you're going to see some number one qualifiers out of them as well. I really think the entire funny car class has potential to be like pro stock in a way. I think Cruz is going to be better this year. You saw Spencer Hyde and how they navigated the racetrack in, gym head fashion. Only person I have an issue with right now in this field is Dave Richards. On a 4.0 racetrack, he's got it. On a 390 racetrack, he doesn't have it. And from my vantage point, I will check Arizona here towards the end of the show. From my vantage point, he is behind the race car. And what I mean behind the race car is the car, things are moving too fast for him, and he's not. You need to be ahead of a funny car. You need to be ahead, focused, and you need to be on top of it. And I think he's behind it. You can tell. If the car's on a 4.0 pass, you saw it. It goes right down the racetrack. Does excellent. When you start talking about 390s, 398, 397, 395, it ain't going to go out but 62, 200 feet, and it's going to be shut off time. Gets out of the groove somehow. Car gets a little messy and doesn't make it. So hopefully through more laps, he can figure it out, but he's going to have to figure it out fast. Because that car now with new tuners, I think me and Dave W was having that conversation, and it's like now with all this new stuff, the last person to turn to is you. So we'll see. Drag Race Mayhem says if you're NHRA, you have to be pretty happy, though. You have an authentic rival with Proc and Vandergriff and a future star in Maddie Gordon. Yes, Maddie Mania is real. It is real. We will take a break right here because we are going to get into our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Top 10. And it's going to be fun. We're going to share some cool stats from the weekend. We're going to look at the graphs, pie graphs from this weekend, and we'll share some cool stats from this weekend as well, right after a word from our sponsor, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Top 10. And let's get this thing a little bit bigger here. Here is your top 10 of the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Season 1, Season Race 1 of the 2026 season. At number 1 with 99.338 points is Possum. You got Kev Dog at 2 at 94.468 points. At the number 3 spot, Nitro Sam, 90.714 points. In the number 4 spot, Maya, I think this is Monica if you follow her on Twitter, at the number 4 spot, 86.523 points. Number 5, Alex, 471, 85.368 points. 6, Concrete Junkie, 69, 84 flat. Number 7, GDB, 83.677 points. At the number 8 spot, Dino 17, 83.281. At the number 9 spot, 1320 BS, 83.175. And at the number 10 spot, Drew, 82.177 is the number. What a day for those individuals. It will be really cool to see how this next race comes out and how quickly this thing turns upside down. But right now, you guys are the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza top 10. Pretty cool. Let's go and look at our pie graphs here. Let's see if I can figure out how to. There we go. So let's look at our pie graphs here. You look at Top Fuel and those who were picked. Sean Langdon, a big pick for the weekend at 28%. You got Josh Hart at 26.86%. And it's a big drop off after that. Antron Brown, 11.87%, and it's a drop off. Look at your pro stock motorcycle. Gatornationals was the big pick of the weekend. Right there was Richard Gatson, followed by Matt Smith, Angie Smith, and then there's a huge drop off. Pro stock, Dallas Glenn was the favorite. Matt Hartford was right there. Looks like nobody believed in Greg Anderson after narrowly getting into the field. He was there in your number 5 spot. Eric Enders right in front of him at that less than 10%. Cody Coughlin, 1304 there at the 3rd spot. And then your funny cars, Ron Capps at the top, followed by Matt Hagan, J.R. Todd, and Jack Beckman. Really cool stuff to see there for them and for our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza players. Some really cool notes and fun facts here. For this 2026 Gatornationals, there was no perfect brackets this race. They're up to about 318 perfect brackets overall, and there was none this weekend. The last time there was a race with 0 perfect brackets was in 2025 at the Carolina 4-Wide Nationals. There have been only been 11 races in Drag Race Bracket Bonanza history since the 2023 U.S. Nationals that have had 0 perfect brackets. This is out of 48 races. The biggest bracket buster this weekend in the 2026 Gatornationals was in Funny Car, with John Smith at the 16th position, advancing past Ron Capps. He was there in that number 1 spot. Only 3.47% of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza players anticipated that Smith would advance out of E1, while 95.95% had Capps advancing, and rightfully so. But to those who picked Smith, they were looking to call the upset, and they were able to get that. Smith said, "We are the type of team where we almost always seem to make it down the track. We're not the quickest or the fastest, but we're going to go A to B. We don't take as many risks like some other big teams, but we know how to tune the car to make a consistent run." And he did that. Smith would then go on to go out in elimination round 2. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Top 10 and your Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Fun Facts from the 2026 NHRA Amalie Motor Oil Gator Nationals. And just like that, we will move on and we will talk about the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza League of the NotBland Show. And we'll get there in just a second. Getting off to a good start. Myself, I'm getting off to a good start. Don't worry about where Dave is right now. Just so we're clear. Don't worry about where Dave is right now because it's not going to matter. That's only one race in. But as we look to go to our majors and our first race of the season here for the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza for the Yowzers, for the NotBland Show, it's Drag Race Girly 99 at number 1, 75.67 points. It is What's Ruse at 73.668. Memphis Lonnie in the top 5. Check that out. 69.565 points. He's number 3. Nicole at number 4. 67.477. And that man, the Nitro Performance guy, 65.727 in the number 5 spot. And myself in the number 6 spot, 65.532 points. We have that is your top 5. I'm barely in there. You got Mac 1320 there at 9th. Cassie C at number 8. FK Needler at 7, 61 points, 0.7387 points. And your guy, the leader, the one man who usually wins this thing, is at the bottom right now. Had a rough weekend. Right there in 13th is the camera guy, your camera guy, my camera guy, everybody's camera guy, Sports Journey's camera guy, Fred Warner. And you got the Nitro Scooter at 12. And Ironhead Motorsports 10. That's pretty good top 14 there, people. Pretty good top 14. We'll see how it goes as we get into the rest of the season. I'm going to tell you right now, enjoy it while it lasts because it doesn't last all the time, guys. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. We got Arizona next, and I said I would check to see what the car count is. So we'll do that here. I think Arizona is like in 2 weeks, I believe. Let's see. Let's move forward here. Yeah, it's April 9th through the 12th. So it's the Winter Nationals, not Arizona. It's the Winter Nationals. We'll be in Pomona. So 9-12. So we've got, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 weeks before we see any drag racing, any NHRA drag racing. So let's see. We'll look at the list, early list here. Let's see. Top Fuel Dragster. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 dragsters right now as of today. Funny car, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You will have Jason Rupert and Dylan, I think that's Wafinski. We've had him on the Power Hour show. He will be there. So you got what does Brian Lowe say? A bumper crop of funny cars. I think you got the usual here. 1, 2, Chris Vang will be there in Pro Stock. You got 1, 2, Joey Gross as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You got 19 pro stockers. Let's see. The real question here, there's no bikes. So let's see. Top alcohol dragster is only 1 on the list right now. Top alcohol funny car, there are only 5. And I think they only have 5 this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the count for you. It's early. We'll see if more people enter, but that's your count for the Winter Nationals. Let's go into the comment section before we get out of here. Yes, that fire was bad. Nicole got some pictures of it. It was a pretty bad fire. I don't know if you guys heard, but it was a broken crank. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you see a fire of that nature, you can automatically assume it's an oil fire. Doesn't matter how it happened. That's an oil fire. Period. Anytime it erupts that bad, you got something major going on. But it's definitely the oil is on fire, and you got a major problem. And really glad that buddy is okay. Little burns on his hand, but he was in good spirits, and he was already thinking about a car where we can get a body from. Process was already moving, so he was definitely in good spirits. He had his swagger back, JR. Yeah, indeed. At 10 a.m. in the UK. Early good morning. Dave W. says, you want some more fun stats for the NotBland Show League. John Force lost first round at the Winter Nationals in 1990, 1994, and 2001. And we know how that worked out. Yes, we do. He won the championship. But I'm going to do everything in my power to see to it that you don't win the championship. And I think everybody else in this league is looking to do the same thing. But his luck's been great right now. That is Dave W. How late can you enter? That I don't know. I would assume you could do it up close to the date of, well, I would say they were probably maybe a day or two, because I would assume that if you enter too late, because they've got to lay out the people, how they're going to be parked. Now, I don't think it would affect it too much, because, I mean, let's say it's Memphis Lonnie Motorsports and, you know, you enter late, they'll just put you at the end, you know what I mean? So I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'm sure you have up until the end there. Yeah, I'm sorry. Phoenix is in March. It's Pomona. Yeah. I don't know. I saw something about Arizona a while ago, and that's why it stuck in my head. I forgot where I saw it at. It was before the Power Hour. Yep. I thought it was a crankshaft, but it could be a camshaft. Either way, that's oil. No matter how you look at it, that's oil. Okay, there's your answer. Monday before the event. I would assume they would have to have some type of cutoff. Gerda says they are working at the shop. I can't wait. I can't wait. I know this car is going to be exceptional, and I'm looking forward to the season starting, because I'm ready to see these cars go down the track and see how this season is going to play out. It's going to be fun. The championship points on the line. It's going to be exceptionally fun to watch. I can't wait. I really can't. Our drag racing plates are overfloweth right now. It's going to be some really good action. And thank goodness for Speed Sport 1. So, yeah, it's going to be great. That's the NHRA Phoenix is March. Yeah. Yep. But we got like 2-3 weeks until Pomona. Ridiculous. Yeah. You do normally watch through Twitter. That's why I was like, we got a new person in here. But thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Man, 5 minutes left in the show. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but the NFL free agency has been wild. It's been keeping me busy. I've been busy ever since I got back here. I still haven't really combed through a lot of my notes for, for the Gatornationals. So lots of going on. You can catch some of the stories that we put up there on sportsjourney.com. We have also a free agency tracker that is tracking all of the moves being made over the last couple of days. A busy first day of free agency. And today was kind of the same. Some trades, some pickups, some signings. So we're getting this will be over with. Today's probably the last day you get a lot of big news. Over the next couple of days, it'll start slowly trickling in, and then we'll start focusing in on the draft. I haven't done any draft prep. I haven't even looked at anything. I'm just too busy with NHRA season starting. You got IHRA looking down the road. I've got Sega looking down the road. So a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to try to do our best to cover what we can when we can. Doug says, DB, I love what you said about the IHRA this afternoon. It's just facts, Doug. Like, we see this often, and you see it usually in stick and ball sports. And if you weren't over there, I don't mind repeating what I said. Look, if you're a guy who has a lot of money and you have employed people to take care of you and to do a job and to build your brand and carry it and make sure that not only are the fans satisfied, but the racers are satisfied. And somebody of Scott Woodruff's, experience level, there's not too many people out there like him. And you would be very, very stupid to not listen to a guy like that. And all he was saying was there are issues with the registration portal that need to be fixed. And I'm sorry, but there are guys, and I use the example of Daniel Snyder, who, because they got a lot of money and they seen this thing work a little bit, that now you think you're an expert and that you know more than you actually know. And at the end of the day, what you need to do is shut the hell up and write the checks. You're a businessman, and you're doing good at that. But when it comes to on and off the track, when it comes down to operations, when it comes down to taking care of the racers, that's what you employed that list of people that you rolled out here just this weekend to do. That's what you employed Scott Woodruff to do, to carry this thing and to make it great and to make it something that the racers and fans can trust in. But when you continue to do asinine moves of firing people who are no more than you diminish the trust in the organization. You diminish the trust of fans and racers. Again, it's very simple. You look at an example of a great Washington Redskins coach in Joe Jackson Gibbs. A great mind, a great offensive mind. But you know what? His ego was not so big that he didn't bring in the best names to his coaching staff. That won him 3 Super Bowls. He had appeared in 4. I believe 4. Maybe even 5. I think 4. So what does that tell you? Sometimes you got to know your role. And as The Rock says, sometimes you got to shut your mouth. Just shut up and cut the checks. Because at the end of the day, if you knew so much, you wouldn't be hiring these people you got around you. You wouldn't have employed Scott Woodruff. And last but not least, and I didn't get a chance to say that over there, but man, if you're going to fire somebody, be a man about it. It's real cowardice to fire somebody over text, bro. That's real professional. Like, what are we, 5? Like, be a man about it. That's just ridiculous. Fire somebody over text. That's a joke. But I hope this thing all works out because we all need it. You see the changes that them being in existence has done, just what the NHRA has done in counter of what they are doing. It's only good for the whole part of drag racing. And that's what's important. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I hope that it goes well for the racers, you know, for folks like Lex June and his team. You know, it's giving them and giving these folks an opportunity to get more laps and to be able to build their program. Because I'm going to tell you, with the amount of laps they're going to get a chance to this season, a championship that they're going to get an opportunity to chase, when they do show up at an NHRA race, when they showed up before, it was a problem. When they show up at an NHRA race with all these laps, there's going to be some tight sphincters in the other lane. Might make some folks do some things that, you know, they may not normally do because they know what's in the other lane. They know the amount of consistency they've been able to develop. And they've got a new car. And I think there's other people that are going to be coming out with new pipe. So, going to be fun, guys. It's going to be a fun year. And I hope and pray that it can continue for more than just 1 year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for our show. I want to thank everybody tuning into the show. Like I said, without you, man, this is nothing. You guys are everything. Until next Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, you guys be good. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Tight like a crossover sleeper, 4th inches in the cold, crowd breathing like smoke, and it felt great in my voice when the pressure gets woke, engine scream through the night, that F1 razor lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior, NASCAR drift in my blood, when the pace get wild, I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile, legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo, I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro, every lane that we touch, every story we show, this is where the truth runs. The NotBland Show, fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch a moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with the champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show. Fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch a moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with the champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show.